Introduction: The weight of life's struggles. Have you ever felt like life's burdens are too much to bear? The worries of everyday life, the uncertainty about the future, the struggles in relationships. These things can weigh heavily on our hearts and minds. There are moments when it feels like the pressure is too much, and the thought of finding peace seems distant. We may even question why we have to suffer, wondering if there's any way to escape this pain. If you're feeling overwhelmed and searching for a way to release this suffering, this video will guide you. The following story, rooted in the ancient wisdom of Buddha, will help you understand why life feels so hard and how we can free ourselves from that suffering. Buddha's teachings, which have been passed down for over 2,600 years, offer a path to peace and understanding. And through this story, we will learn how to let go of the burdens that weigh on our hearts. A story of struggle and transformation. In a small village on the banks of the Ganges River in ancient India, there lived a young man named Karna. At just 25 years old, Karna was already burdened with the struggles of life. He worked tirelessly managing his family's weaving shop, a business that had once been the pride of the village but was now struggling due to debt and poor quality. His father's sudden passing had left the business in decline, and Karna now found himself trapped in a cycle of anxiety about the future. On top of this, Karna had to care for his sick mother, a responsibility that weighed heavily on his heart. Every night, he lay in his small room, staring at the ceiling, consumed by a whirlwind of thoughts. Why did my father leave so early? Will my mother ever get better? How will I ever pay off these debts? These thoughts kept him awake at night, and the burden of his worries felt unbearable. Karna's struggles weren't unique. In the village, other people were also carrying their own burdens. The fishmonger, Rame, struggled with a rebellious son, while Priya, the wife of a violent man, endured daily hardship. Despite their suffering, they managed to remain peaceful. Karna couldn't understand how they could be so calm in the face of such difficulties. One evening, after another particularly difficult day, Karna found himself sitting beneath an ancient banyan tree at the edge of the village. The setting sun painted the sky red, and the only sound was the rustling of the leaves in the wind. Karna felt overwhelmed by the weight of his thoughts when a stranger approached him. The man was old, yet there was a dignity in his posture, and his eyes held a deep, calm wisdom. He smiled gently and sat beside Karna. "Young man," he asked, "what weighs so heavily on your heart?" There was something about his presence that immediately put Karna at ease, and without hesitation, he began to pour out his worries, his mother's illness, his debts, his fear of the future. For the first time in a long while, Karna allowed himself to speak freely about the overwhelming weight on his shoulders. The path to release, a journey to the Buddha. The old man listened quietly, nodding in understanding. After Karna finished speaking, the man smiled and gently replied, "There is someone who can help you find peace. In the mountains not far from here, there lives a sage known as Buddha. Many people visit him to find answers to their suffering. Perhaps he can help you too." Karna's heart lifted slightly at the thought of finding a solution, but at the same time, doubt crept in. But what about my mother's illness? I cannot leave her behind, even for a short while. The old man smiled and said, "Sometimes it is necessary to step away, even if only for a moment. A brief separation may bring you closer to your true self, and that peace will be the greatest gift you can offer to your mother." That evening, Karna spoke with his mother, who, though frail, grasped his hand and said in a weak voice, "Go, my son. The villagers will help me. Your peace of mind will be my greatest medicine." Tears filled Karna's eyes as he realized the depth of his mother's love and sacrifice. With a heavy heart, but a glimmer of hope, Karna set off the next morning, with only a small bag and a heart full of uncertainty. As Karna traveled, The path was at times treacherous and confusing. Yet with every step, he felt his heart lighten a little. He continued on for 3 days, unsure of what to expect, but trusting that this journey might bring him the answers he so desperately needed. The meeting with Buddha, a lesson in letting go. On the third day, Karna arrived at the foot of a small mountain and found a humble hut. Inside, an elderly man sat calmly, his presence radiating peace. This man was none other than Buddha. Karna, though overwhelmed by the moment, was struck by the deep serenity that surrounded him. Without even speaking his name, Buddha welcomed him, saying, "I know you, Karna. I know you're suffering. Your heart speaks the truth of your journey." Karna was astonished. How could this stranger know him so well? He knelt before Buddha, his voice trembling as he shared once again the full weight of his pain. The debt, his mother's illness, his fears about the future. Buddha listened with patience and compassion, not interrupting, simply absorbing Karna's words. Once Karna finished, Buddha calmly said, "Come with me." He led Karna behind the hut, where a large rock lay in the center of a peaceful garden. "Pick up this rock," Buddha instructed. Karna hesitated but did as told, using all his strength to lift the heavy stone. The weight of it was unbearable, and within minutes his arms began to tremble. Sweat poured down his face as he struggled to hold the rock. "Hold it for 1 hour," Buddha instructed. Karna, exhausted and in pain, continued to hold the rock, feeling as though his body would collapse under the strain. 10 minutes passed, then 20. By the time 30 minutes had gone by, Karna could barely stand, and after 45 minutes, his vision blurred with pain. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered, his body giving way. But Buddha's calm voice came again, "Just a little longer." Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Karna was allowed to set the rock down. He fell to his knees, drenched in sweat, his body aching. Buddha looked at him and asked, "What do you feel now, Karna?" Karna could barely answer, his mind reeling from the experience. "I feel free, but also so weak. It was too much to bear." Buddha nodded. This is how life's burdens work. The longer you hold on to them, the heavier they become. But you also have the power to let go of them whenever you choose. And once you let go, you will find that you are stronger than you ever imagined. The real source of suffering, letting go of attachments. Buddha continued, much of our suffering is created by our minds. Attachments, desires, and fears. All these things bind us, making life feel heavy. You suffer from debt, yes, but is it truly the debt itself that causes you pain? Or is it the fear of never paying it back, the belief that it will forever weigh you down? Karna's eyes widened. It was true. The debt itself was a reality, but the suffering had come from his mind, the fear, the anxiety, the hopelessness he had built around it. "So, what should I do?" Karna asked, feeling a sense of clarity starting to form. "Start by observing your thoughts," Buddha replied. "Every morning, as the sun rises, sit quietly and focus on your breath. Thoughts will come, but don't chase after them. Let them pass, like shadows on the water. Observe them without attachment. You will find that, over time, your mind becomes clearer and more peaceful." Buddha also spoke of his mother's illness. Yes, your mother is suffering, but what you can do is be there for her. Your presence, your love, that is the greatest gift you can offer her. Do not blame yourself for not being able to cure her illness. Instead, focus on what you can do in this moment. Karna's heart softened. He had spent so much time feeling powerless and guilty, but now he understood. His love and presence were the most valuable things he could offer his mother. A journey of healing and change. Karna spent 7 days with Buddha, practicing meditation each morning. At first, his mind was restless, but with time, he began to notice a quieting of his thoughts. The days spent in Buddha's presence taught him not only to let go of his attachments, but also to embrace the present moment with gratitude. On the last evening of his stay, Buddha spoke to Karna, saying, "There will always be suffering in life, but it is not something we must avoid. It is an opportunity for growth. What matters is how we face it, how we understand it, and how we let it go. The courage to release our burdens will open new paths for us." When Karna returned to the village, he found new meaning in caring for his mother. Gone was the heavy burden of guilt and fear. He now lived each day with gratitude, focusing on the love he could give her in the present moment. Slowly, his debts began to decrease as he focused on one small step at a time. His business, too, began to recover, not because he saw perfection, but because he gave his best each and every day. Karna's transformation had a ripple effect. His once heavy heart had lightened, and with it, the hearts of those around him. He shared Buddha's teachings with others, helping them to let go of their attachments and find peace in the present moment. Conclusion: the power of letting go. Karna's story is a powerful reminder that life's suffering is often caused by our attachments, our fears, our desires, our anxieties. But just as Karna learned, we have the power to release these burdens. By focusing on the present moment, observing our thoughts without attachment, and embracing the love we can give to others, we can find freedom and peace. If you are carrying a heavy burden right now, remember that you have the strength to let it go. With each step, with each breath, you can release the weight you've been carrying and embrace a new path. The key is in letting go and accepting that suffering is a part of life, but it does not have to define us. Thank you for watching, and may you find peace on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts with us in the comments. Until next time, take care.